Okay, Creepy, I know all about Halloween.
Samhain.
Whatever. Point is, the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest, and therefore this is the best possible time to send me through the space warp.
You've already been possessed once. I'm surprised you're so willing to relive the experience so quickly.
The overclocking fried the shields. We need to find another way to protect you while you're traveling through the space warp.
What do you gotta do? DDR combat? Air Battle 2.0? Review porn in my underwear?
You mean you would actually do that?
I'm actually more excited for DDR combat. Or hair battle, I'll accept that.
But I'm willing to do just about anything in order to get back to my nice, warm home with its many, many consoles. I didn't do another damn song and dance number to that awful Bette Midler song from last year.
Tempting though that would be, we don't actually have to do any of those things.
We don't?
I need more time to recalibrate the space warp. You need to review a movie that's bad enough to frighten away evil spirits so that Decker is shielded from them.
So we really are going to plug the Patreon campaign for that Demon Man movie or whatever.
Devilman. Well, of course, the alternative is that we take another look at Bible Man.
Come on, let's go. Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. As it's Halloween, or Samhain, as some prefer to call it, we are going to review an action horror fantasy film.
Big surprise there.
Yes, and what fresh horror does Creepy have in store for us? Joy.
Created by Go Nagai in 1971 under the original title of Demon Lord Dante, Devilman tells the story of a meek Japanese high school student named Akira who gets possessed by a demon lord named Amon and becomes a superhero.
Simple enough. This is your standard superhero origin story.
Wait, do you mean that I could have gotten superpowers if I had stayed possessed? Damn it, Creepy!
In your case, you'd have just found tentacles in some strange places, Decker. Well, strange for you.
It still counts! The Devilman manga was released around the same time as a 39-episode anime series that boasted numerous changes to the original material. In 2004, the same year that a live-action adaptation of Go Nagai's Cutie Honey came out, Toei released the live-action Devilman movie, simply titled Devilman.
I suppose Toei thought that simplicity was best when it came to movie titles, unlike Toho with the Godzilla franchise.
I wonder what this movie would be called if Toho produced it. Super Invincible Japanese Student Devilman, the movie.
Don't even joke. They can always reboot a franchise. Always.
Good point, and since this movie was named one of the worst films of the 2000s, fans may argue they have just cause to do so.
Since when do you care what other critics say?
I don't. I'm just, pointing it out. So, let's take a look at Devilman and get my ass home.
Can we keep the rest of you?
No! We open to the fires of hell, which are safely kept in a fireplace while two kids play the mythology equivalent of Who's That Pokemon?
A centaur. Hey, Ryo, you like monsters, huh?
What the... Why did you rip the English version?
My show is in English. It seemed logical.
They can't even pronounce one of the main characters' names right! It's Ryo, not Ryo!
Sure, I'm one of them.
And then the child explodes in blood and hooks appear.
We already covered Hellraiser, remember?
The movie skips ahead to when Ryo Asuka and Akira Fudo, played by real-life twins Hisato and Yusuke Izaki, are students in high school.
And the movie establishes very, very quickly that the boys are all grown up.
Ah, creepy! They're supposed to be high school aged. Minors.
They're adult twins. It's Japanese Dawson's casting.
There goes your one and only excuse to protest the gratuitous package shot.
We quickly establish that Akira is the geeky best friend and Ryo is the rich overachiever. How different are their lives? Akira is an orphan adopted into a family who treats him nicer than adopted parents in any other movie I can think of, but that doesn't keep him from being constantly bullied in school. Ryo, on the other hand, has his own Ryomobile, custom fitted with literal plot devices.
My old man is dead.
How did that happen, man?
I'll show you. Put them on.
Wait, many adults in Japan don't own cars, much less teenagers. That's hard enough to accept. But where in the fuck did Ryo get that VR helmet?
It's Japan. The VR helmet is the more plausible one of the two.
The VR helmet contains a message to Ryo from his father explaining how research was being conducted in Antarctica when the scientists accidentally unleashed demonic sperm cells into the world that possessed people and turned them into monsters.
Okay, which part of that was serious and what was the joke for the review?
No, that really is what happened.
Evil sperm cells possess scientists. Wait a minute, isn't that the plot for Doom 3?
Doom 3 had a plot?
Ryo takes Akira to his place, and we find out what's behind door number 1. Well, it wasn't acting lessons. God! What the?
See? Evil demonic sperm cell.
The possessed Akira transforms into Devilman for all of 30 seconds before getting downgraded into Rookie Demon form. We then learn that Ryo can also transform, though his is,
Feathers and wings.
Oh, well, he's posing for an album cover.
It'll make sense eventually.
Something in this movie makes sense. That's news.
Akira spontaneously wakes up at his foster home, no longer suffering from prosthetic outbreak. His foster family then presents him with a belated birthday gift.
Uncle! Aunt Emmy! Mickey! Thank you very much.
Her name isn't Mickey, it's Miki! Why are none of the names in this movie pronounced properly?
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind.
Never do that again.
I hate to say it, but you earned that one, Decker. I hate that song.
Hey, Mickey! Hey, Mickey! Akira takes Mickey for a ride on his new motorcycle, which has an interesting effect on Mickey's skirt. This a little bit more. Come on. Up!
Evidently, Devilman's powers include the ability to preserve his foster sister's modesty.
After dropping Miki, played by Ayana Sakai, off at school, we see that Ryo is trying to get revenge on the bullies for beating up Akira. Wanting to prevent this problem, our hero goes forth to defuse the situation by beating the shit out of the bullies himself.
Holy shit.
Something that wasn't brought up in the movie is that Amon, the demon that Akira stole powers from, is actually the demon of war, meaning Akira has some new moves to go with his superpowers.
So this is your standard bully victim revenge fantasy.
That night, Akira broods alone in his room, wrestling with an overwhelming need to fight something. Luckily for him, a demon just happens to show up willing to scratch the itch he has.
Hot feathered Japanese babe in an angel suit. I approve.
It's alright.
What do you mean?
You never saw how she was dressed in the manga?
Sweet angel tits!
Selene has come looking for Amon, hoping to free him from his human prison. Akira isn't too keen on the idea of being dead just so Selene and Amon can resume splacking, so naturally a fight breaks out.
Now she looks more like she did in the manga.
There is some serious property damage going on.
As usual, mass distraction is the only thing that can distract Decker from boobs.
The simulated Seraphim scuffle doesn't go in Devilman's favor, but before Silen can finish him off, Ryo shows up, saving him during the scene transition. The two then head for the Monster Cafe to discuss the film's supernatural plot well within earshot of the employees.
These demons. Why do they possess us?
They added slurping to the dialogue too.
They're eating. It makes sense.
They're Japanese. Japanese people are generally better mannered than that. Except when it comes to eating ramen.
Ryo explains that demons are actually very weak and need to possess strong life forms in order to survive. Akira then gives a speech about why he became Devilman in the first place.
I became Devilman to save all humanity, to protect Mickey and the Makamuras. It's my destiny.
Someone thinks they're in a different movie.
It's not Mickey! This is Mickey! This is Miki! There is a difference!
Maybe Disney owns the dubbing department that worked on the movie? They've already bought Star Wars, Miko Studios, and the rights to Hellraiser. On the other hand, it could be BBC's Mickey.
After this, he returns home to find Miki very worried about his change in behavior. But then...
Stop it!
This is not like you.
Yeah, adopted family, stepsister.
Totally legal.
Am I making you feel awkward?
No.
Do they?
Yep.
Brotherfucker!
That's obvious at this point.
A possessed man stops in the shopping plaza for a snack, then turns his appetite toward one of Akira's friends. Akira hears the cry for help while riding on his bike, but sadly does not arrive in time.
How ironic. I always wanted to be friends with you.
How the fuck is that ironic?
In an earlier version, Akira's mother was the one consumed by Jinken, not his schoolmate. Nevertheless, Akira takes care of Jinken with one punch.
And I feel humans. I'm not like Satan.
Satan?
He wants to wipe out every human on Earth.
Satan's in this movie?
Yeah. You really don't know anything about Devilman, do you?
No.
After a quick news broadcast establishing that demons running around and killing people actually does not go unnoticed in this universe,
Even knowing that, I'm still astounded.
we cut to one of Miki's classmates, Miko, played by Asuka Shibuya. Being a recipient of torment from this film's obligatory trio of bitches, she naturally turns out to be a demon as well.
Yes, throw crap at the girl who can melt you with her arms.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Ah, the good old days.
The police force's anti-demon squad arrive on the scene, but Miko has already fled. She happens across a young boy whose parents have been possessed. Rather than watch the boy get eaten, Miko chooses to use her powers for good.
And kill the boy's parents.
Should I use that for the send-off line, or do you think we might get sued?
Arnold's not on this turkey, so go ahead.
The Japanese government decides that the best solution is to establish a totalitarian regime, arresting all suspected of being a demon and shooting everyone who resists.
Because that'll go well.
Yes, no civilization in history has ever screwed up by taking that road.
Right on cue, someone is arrested who is clearly not a demon. Meanwhile, during the unfolding crisis, Miki and Akira go to a nearby church so that Miki can pray.
I'm praying that someday you and I can get married in this church.
You just boned your stepbrother 2 days ago. This is moving kind of fast, don't you think?
Have lots of kids running around the house.
Well, there is a crisis brewing outside. I guess Mickey doesn't want to wait until an angry mob shows up and murders all of them.
But who would come to a place of residence with the intent of killing everyone inside? I mean, aside from this group of officers doing just that. Ryo has brought Akira here to fight the humans in defense of the demons, but Akira gets cold feet and leaves the job solely to Ryo. It's here we find out.
Please help us, Satan!
He's Satan?
Yeah. I mean, you hadn't worked that out already?
I thought it was
Thought it was what?
Miko's little kid friend?
You thought it was him. Seriously?
I thought his soulless acting might have actually been intentional.
Come on, Decker, you know better than that.
Society collapses, bringing about the closing of the Monster Cafe and the arrival of overweight, underwear-clad Japanese men that sit on people.
Not to worry, though. Akira's uncle is still eating well.
That's how Japanese people eat during a pending apocalypse?
It's Japan. Those smaller portions come in handy when there's a crisis.
I want to eat like Japanese people in a crisis.
During this time, Akira's uncle notices that Akira is half demon, but does not freak out over this fact like the rest of the world has.
It's pretty easy to see why, though, considering all he went through during Giant Monster's all-out attack.
Father?
In these situations, a ship's commander has to lead by example.
So he's a good parent during kaiju attacks and when family members come out to him. I approve.
Just in case this touching moment puts you in an optimistic mood, the movie shifts over to scenes of the police gunning people down in the streets. Akira tries to stop them and catches sight of a familiar figure.
Ryo!
People in this movie have a harder time pronouncing that name than kids in the 90s playing Street Fighter 2.
If one person says Ryu as Ryu, I'm eating their skulls and laying eggs of madness in whatever's left.
You better clean up after yourself. I don't want another mess in the garage like last time.
You are no fun sometimes.
Slightly less egregious than mispronouncing Ryo, World War III breaks out. Miko and her pet arrive at Miki's place after being chased through the streets by soldiers. Despite knowing that Miko is a demon, the family offers them asylum.
In that case, those two are better off on the streets.
Not that kind of asylum.
While trying to conceal her demon markings, Miko accidentally reveals herself to Miki. As a gesture of friendship, Miki gives Miko a makeover that comes with free lip gloss.
I don't care how much makeup you two layer on that thing, you're not gonna convince anyone that those are birthmarks.
Would a tattoo work for you instead?
Maybe Tech was just born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
The next day, Akira's uncle is asked by the neighbors to join their roving band of angry witch hunters. The uncle politely declines, which causes him to be suspected. Thus, they bid farewell to Miko and...
what's that kid's name?
Don't know. Check IMDb.
They have Mark Musashi as LAPD, but I don't see anything on the kid.
Check his principal.
At any rate, Miko and the kid make a run for it before the police arrive. Fearing that his family is about to be gunned down, Akira sacrifices himself by showing the cops that he is half demon. This leads to him being dragged away for execution.
The demon is dead!
After all that, you better fucking well hope that he is.
That can't be right, though. You still have Act 3 to go through.
Just because they removed and killed the demon from the house, that doesn't mean the angry mob's bloodlust is sated. So we get to watch as the happy family we've grown to love over the last 80 minutes is swarmed and brutally murdered by a horde of madmen.
Don't worry, Devilman's gonna come. Any time now. Seriously, where the fuck is Devilman?
You really don't know anything about this franchise, do you?
And he wonders why I refuse to watch this film with Creepy. There are some things even a little elder god finds repugnant.
Sick of being chased through subways and the streets, Miko finally makes a stand against the angry horde that's after her, channeling the power of Mothra to save herself and the kid.
They have guns. Why is no one shooting her?
Katanas are just better.
It's a TV trope's proven fact.
Is this fun, everybody? Humans are killing humans!
These Old Spice commercials are getting weird.
I don't know. I do have the urge to put on bath wash all of a sudden.
You need a shower to get through this movie, Creepy.
All hope is not lost yet, for Akira has risen from the grave like a very horny Jesus. He races home so he can save his family, but,
Fuck!
Despite knowing how this would turn out, I still feel horrible.
Akira decides to take Miki's severed head out for a stroll with him through the ruins of civilization. He stops at the same church they were in earlier.
Okay, in spite of my better judgment, I cannot let an opportunity like this pass me by.
What?
This is the story of the most beautiful man who had everything: money, power, fame, until he lost it.
Did you have to do that? I'd rather he just went bowling with the damn thing.
Creepy, you are a disturbed and depraved man. Though, perhaps not quite that disturbing. Why would anyone do that?
Imagine someone coming into that church after he leaves to pray and finding it there. What are they gonna think?
Needs a bowl of fruit?
Okay, I'm putting back that disturbed and depraved thing. Only you would compare severed heads to still life.
Ryo shows up then so the two can have their meaningful argument over their contrasting philosophies.
Is humanity worth saving? I hate all humans. All of them, except you, Akira. If you join me, we can create a new world.
And depending on how you look at it, this is either a sibling rivalry or the two are coming on to each other.
Dude! They're twins in real life.
So how it went in the manga.
At long last, the two transform and have their epic brawl, which manages to utterly annihilate what few standing buildings were left. The combat is a special effects extravaganza, the only problem being, of course, that the special effects in question are not the highest quality. Still, Akira and Ryo both land fatal blows on each other simultaneously.
Why are they fighting? The world is pretty much fucked at this point.
It's the principle of the thing.
Besides, if they aren't fighting, you'll complain about what an anticlimax this was.
After the combat settles down, Ryo finds Akira dying by the shore, and...
They broke the moon? Seriously? They fucked up the world so bad that it broke the moon! How do you do that?
Does this mean that Devilman takes place in the same continuity as Thundar the Barbarian?
I wouldn't think too heavily on it. Otherwise, you'll invoke the fanfic crossover paradigm.
Don't let the death of fucking everybody get you down, though. After all, Miko is still alive, along with the kid, and they hold the true key to happiness. Lip gloss!
So there you go! Happy ending after all.
So, how did the movie make you feel?
I kinda wanna crawl into a hole and die.
Now you know why we needed you here for this review, Darker.
That was certainly an experience. However, I'll state first and foremost that I don't think this movie was the abomination it was made out to be. Don't get me wrong, the CGI and acting were subpar, and it leaves you feeling horrible about yourself, but on that last point, I'd venture to say that it was intentional. This is a Devilman movie, after all. The wanton destruction of the human race was never supposed to be fun in the Devilman universe.
The Devilman storyline was never a happy one. The one exception to this is perhaps the animated series from the 70s, which makes several changes to the mythos. Go Nagai intended for Devilman to be a cautionary tale about humanity's warlike nature, which is interesting considering the artist is a well-documented optimist when it comes to humankind. Devilman is a dark and deeply depressing story about man's hubris and folly, but it happens to portray those subjects decently. This is not a movie I feel good about, but I do not regret watching it.
I'm used to horror which shows things getting unbearably bad, yet somehow good always wins in the end, and action where bad things only happen to give a little weight to a power fantasy sequence to make the audience feel good and entertained. That's not the kind of movie this is, and I'm curious if that is part of what held it back from being regarded as even remotely good. I don't think I have to argue at all that this is not the worst film of 2004, considering the kinds of movies I've reviewed on my show, but it's honestly a type of film that I rarely see, one that does not concentrate on being mindless entertainment and has actual artistic direction.
In that regard, Devilman does succeed. It's not a good film, but calling this movie outright horrible is grossly inaccurate. The movie does try to compel its viewers to think, which is a good thing. The problem, as far as entertainment goes, is that the subject matter is so terribly dark and foreboding. Even with that in mind, the story and characters are interesting enough to hold my attention and keep me invested in what's happening. Devilman is most assuredly not everyone's cup of tea when it comes to cinema, but it's a film that deserves a better chance than what the public initially gave it. I give the live-action Devilman 3.5 convenient crotch-obscuring feathers blowing in the wind out of 5.
Overall, Devilman will leave you feeling terrible just as it set out to do, and I respect that even if I don't ever feel like watching this movie again. It leaves an impression and gives you something to talk about, and that's not something you can say about many films of 2004. Coming in at 3 decapitated stepsister/girlfriend heads out of 5.
Well, that wasn't so bad. I thought this movie was supposed to scare the evil spirits away. That didn't work at all.
You're forgetting, Decker.
The netherworld is full of fanboys. See for yourself.
You're right. Well, thank you all for watching. I'm the Decker Shado.
And that long-haired creepy guy.
And remember...
Done. The space warps are ready.
Oh, it is? Oh, fuck that then.
I guess this means you'll be going. Have a safe trip?
Creepy. Before I go, there's something I have to do.
Yes?
See ya! place of all things. Do you have any idea how few consoles that man has? Hello, Kuro. Yeah, you're happy to see
How
me.
the heck have you been gone at Creepy's place and back in one day?
I've been gone for a month.
Really? Never noticed.
You don't say. I've been gone for... Kuro knows. Yeah, you're happy to see me, aren't you?
She wants her walks, and you should be checking on Tara and feeding her, plus change her litter box.
Yeah. The dog cares. The dog. Okay. Yes.
Well, that's that. It was nice having company over for a while.
Yeah, about that. There's a problem. Downtown is being ravaged by a giant steam-powered robot. The Pan-Galactic Superhero League wants a stern word with you. Oh, and those alien hats, they're back.
Again? Well, the peace and quiet was nice while it lasted. I'll go deal with the aliens. You see if you can't herd the heroes over to where the giant robot is. By the time they're done wailing on that thing, they'll have forgotten why they made the trip.
Consider it done. Oh, and the Vice President's online too.
Which one?
Of the States?
Oh, him. Put him on hold. I hope Decker is enjoying his consoles.
Look at you, grinning like an idiot.